Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today we are back with the go-kart that has been sitting for the last 15 years and we're going to try and get it running, so stay tuned. So in the last video we worked on this thing. We got the chain all set up, we got the wheels bolted on, we got the throttle all sort of hooked up. It sort of kind of works. I say sort of kind of because it doesn't always return all the way back to idle, but nonetheless. We picked up a new clutch. This is only temporary. This isn't permanent, as I want to live axle swap it, and when I live axle swap it, I'm going to belt drive swap it. So this is just a clutch from not Harbor Freight, Tractor Supply. This thing was way overpriced. This thing was $70. Yeah, you heard me right, $70 for, but it says performance on it, so you know it's fast. Anyways, so we got the clutch, and then over here I'm working on the seat a bit, trying to get this thing all figured out because the bolt decided to fall off last time we rode it, and the whole seat swung to the side because when the bolt falls off and you take your washer off, the seat goes wah. So that's no good. So we need to just get this bolted back on really simply. Just throw the washer on, throw the nut on, and then just crank it down. But the only problem, please save it. Okay, so the only problem is you need these washers, because without the washers, the seat is really crooked. All I know is the previous owner put these on here and said, don't touch them, don't take them off, they're kind of necessary. So I'm gonna stick to it, and we're gonna keep these washers right there. So all we need to do now is just bolt this all up, and then that'll be all it. Whilst I bolt this on, I will discuss the future plans of this kart. So this kart is destined to be kind of like a race go-kart. I mean, it's never going to be stupid fast, but the plans are, we're going to belt drive swap it, we're going to live axle swap it, and we're going to turbocharge that engine right there. It's not going to be a big turbo, it's not going to be pushing 40 pounds of boost, but it'll be a turbocharger. So what we need to do with that is we got to get a new manifold, make some piping, make some tubing. There's plenty of videos on there online. I just got to get the materials, the time, and the money to do it. So that'll be coming eventually, as well as paint and body work for this go-kart, because one of the seat bolt tabs broke off and that one is on the way out as well. The floor, this thing is like, I don't know if you could tell from the video, it's like that. it's so bad, but I'm gonna get the seat all tightened up. Actually, I could probably just get that hand tight. I think it's this size. I'm not really sure. I hope it is. Oh. Gotta do it manually. Is it that size? Ugh. I gotta find the right size for this. So I'm gonna bolt the seat back up. I'm gonna get the seat all mounted up, and then we'll throw the new clutch on. So. All right, so we got the chain all installed. You saw in that last little clip. The only problem I'm having now is that is, okay, what is with this? There was a moth on my leg. No, it wasn't even a moth. It was one of those like tree, look at that. There it was. What even is that? Is that one of those like tree-eating beetles? If I step on it, it's just gonna fly away. Oh my God, every single episode. Anyways, deja vu. Back to the go-kart. This clutch is new, but I don't know if you can hear. It has like this really, really good free spot, but it gets stuck. It looks lined up to me, but I know the sprocket's bent, and if I hold it completely straight, you guys might be able to see there's a wobble in that, as well as the wheel will actually slowly just back itself off because, well, actually now it's not doing it, but the nut's just loose, so that's not good. The next thing that I gotta worry about is I gotta lubricate this chain. It's got oil all over it because it's new, but see, like, you can hear, this right here is why I'm doing live axle, because once I do live axle, I can do a jack shaft, and once I do the jack shaft, I can do a belt drive. I could do this belt drive now, but the problem is I don't have enough space. I mean, I'm using like a 3/4 spacer on the crankshaft just to space it out enough to fit this damn thing. But, well, actually now, once you start rolling it, it actually feels pretty good. I mean, there's a spot that's a little rough right there. This spot's a little on the crusty side, so I got some WD-40. I'll hit it with that, and hopefully that'll solve my problem, at least a little bit. Spray that a bit. Spray some in here, around, and so on. So I'm gonna keep repeating that, and hopefully something fixes itself. All right, so the chain is all lubed up and spinning actually pretty nicely. I just had to put some grease in the clutch's pivot point, as this one was a little greased, but it wasn't anything, so I just put some oil in there, and then I sprayed some WD-40 and some grease all over the chain, and now it rolls smoothly forward and backwards. This is still a problem, and if anybody has any suggestions, please let me know. I've got a bearing in here, and then this nut. If you crank down on the nut, the wheel locks up, and if you leave it loose, it just spins slowly and slowly and slowly and slowly until it falls off. So I need some suggestions on how to deal with that, because that's kind of annoying, not gonna lie. I want to be able to ride this thing, and I can't really ride it if the wheel is falling off. But that, God, this chain, it's brand new and everything's just so binded. But yeah, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna make sure that that's sort of tight, is I'm gonna go and start it. Hopefully this clutch doesn't engage. That's what I want. I want this clutch to not engage. I want to be able to let it idle, maybe see a little bit of spinach, but I want to be able to step on the brakes and keep the engine alive. So that's what we're gonna do right now. All right, so it's loud as hell, but I'm noticing something. It's as it's running, the clutch is engaging, which is a no good. We're gonna have to work on that. I tried adjusting the idle and it's just not working. The idle screw seems to be stuck, because as I'm doing it, you can actually hear it clicking. I'm adjusting the idle screw down and the engine just didn't change. You can see it spun the tire a bit, which is good. When you give it gas, it spins. The only thing now I gotta check is, how much did this back out? Not much at all. Perfect. I think we're set. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna throw the seat back on, because I think we're at a point now where I can do that, because we only had the seat off to do the throttle cable. So I'm gonna throw the seat back on, and then we'll try and start this thing up again. And I don't know if we're gonna ride it in this video, but we're definitely gonna get it started again. I'm gonna make sure it's on camera. The sound of a small engine is just music to my ears. So I'm gonna get this thing, I'll let this cool off, because I do not want to touch that. I will burn myself, and I really don't feel like going to the hospital for a burn wound. When I hit the throttle, it seemed to respond well. Let the choke out slowly, all worked good. It's definitely running out of gas. I can definitely say that. I mean, there's not much in there. There's a little bit in the bottom, but we're on our way. So I'm gonna get the seat thrown back on, and then we'll continue tuning. All right, so now that we've got that all situated with the seat is all bolted on, the engine is all bolted down, the new clutch is installed, the chain is lubed, the wheel is sort of bolted down. The engine runs really, really good. It's a very strong engine. I mean, it's a brand new Predator. It better run strong. But now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start her up, make sure it's filming this time so you guys can see a Predator 212 start, even though there's 100 videos probably of these starting already. I don't care. It's my Predator. So I'm gonna set you guys back up there. That's where I had you guys propped up in between the hatch. And I'm gonna rip this pull cord and hopefully it doesn't take off through my neighbor's fence, because yikes. Oh yeah, there's another design flaw. The kill switch is behind the seat. So if you wanna shut it off, you better hope nothing's spinning back there. Or just move the seat forward, either one. Kill switch on. Choke on, fuel on, choke off because it's sort of warm. At least I hope it's warm. And, ooh, almost the first pull. It needs the choke. Of course it needs the choke. Just like that, our baby's alive. So you can see what it's doing is it's grabbing and letting go. What I need to do is I need to tune this down a bit, but shut that off so you can actually hear me speak. What I need to do is I need to tune that down a bit so that stops biting like that, because that's really annoying. Also not really good for the clutch. And then I'll be back with you guys. That should take no more than about 30 seconds. All right, so now we have an even bigger problem. I have this thing idling. It doesn't idle very well. When it's idling, I'm backing out this screw. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's somewhere right here. Let me put the screwdriver on it and then I'll point it out to you guys. Right in there, there's a little idle screw. Right there. And I'm backing this out to lower the idle, twisting it to raise. Yeah, it doesn't do anything as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't seem to adjust anything. Now, that isn't to say it doesn't, because that thing right there is your air-fuel ratio thing, or so I'm told. And that's backed like all the way in. So I don't know how to feel about that. And there's no like adjustment spot on it. There's no like notch. So that's going to be something, but I'll take a look into it a bit more and see if I can figure something out, because I need this to be sort of usable, because what's happening is it's running, and it's running great, but it's like tss, 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 and it's like grabbing, and it's like surging almost. And I heard this thing when I first bought it, and it was not doing that. So either this is messed up, it's running out of fuel, or something with the air-fuel mixture is off. It smells a little fuel-y sometimes, but that's just when you're cold starting it. So I gotta see what I can do about that, because, I mean, it hot starts really well, no choke required, but it just doesn't idle right. It just feels off, you know, and I don't know if you guys could see it in the video, but it just, something's not right. So I gotta do a little bit more digging, and hopefully I can find something. All right, so after a little bit of fiddling and a lot of guesswork, I found a bunch of nuts, and I found one that fit. It's the wrong size. This is actually the nut that's supposed to be on there and threads perfectly, but this one just bit and locked, and it's good. Has a little bit of back and forth play, but wheel spins really nicely, might I add. It's not making that dinging noise. Rotates smoothly. So I'm gonna go give her a rip. Pull starter, and hopefully the wheel, I'm gonna give it some gas, and hopefully it doesn't fling the chain off. I really hope not, because I don't want to have to put this chain back on. It's so annoying. But yeah, so let me give it a rip, and then we'll go from there. So I just gave her a rip, pull started her, gave her some really good revs, had this wheel spinning right there, almost too fast for its own good. And sure enough, the nut held it on pristinely, and the chain loosened a little bit. You know, little bit of loosage. You know, it's not what I want to be seeing. It's not great, which means the engine is shifting, which sucks. but it is working. So on that, I'm gonna end this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for more of this content. Me and the rat. That's its name, by the way. The rat. Because look at it. Pretty damn ratty. But yeah, hopefully the engine's not slipping. And in the next video, hopefully, we're gonna ride this thing. Fast? No. Far? No. Ride it? Hopefully. So, see you guys in the next one.